The monkey brain is always creating stories because of the nature of the brain of human beings. The nature of the brain is to constantly be in activity and to never really take a break. So the human brain invents all these stories, the good ones, the not so good ones. The new thing in trends is to visualize what you want out of life. But we must tell you that the stories of your life are what makes you you. So what we would like to say is, since the monkey brain is always creating a story, sometimes out of this reality, these stories that the monkey brain creates are far from the reality most of the time. But what we would like to say today is that there is one story for each human being that has value. And that story is real. And that story is the story of your life from the beginning to the last breath. That story of what happened in your life. What are the difficulties that you have gone through and processed? What are the beautiful parts of your life? We also include these: the birth of your children, the unique days of gratitude of your soul, the beauty of your life. All of it belongs to you, not just the dramas that you are involved in a daily basis, but all of it. The dramas need to be considered and honored, as well as the joys and the gifts in your life, because all of it, from day one to your last breath, all your stories, all your experiences, everything that happened to you, the good and the bad, are the evolution that your soul came in this incarnation to experience, for the sole purpose of evolution, of understanding, of exploration of these experiences that make you who you are today. So what we're trying to teach here is to focus on the reality of what your life has been going through. The reality, not the illusions, not the stories created by the monkey brain on a daily basis, but go through your life from day one to where you are today and try to acknowledge each story in your life. Write it down, paint it if you prefer. So acknowledge all of it with the understanding that who you are today is what you have evolved from these stories, from this pain, from these dramas. Who you are today has the imprint of all these stories. And who you are today is worth acknowledging and honoring, because no matter if you're still a work in progress, no matter, of course you are still work in progress. You're not completed as a soul. You're not enlightened. There's no point to be enlightened. There's no point in perfection. That is not the purpose of living an incarnation. It is not to achieve perfection and enlightenment. It is the purpose of an incarnation is when the soul decides to have an incarnation in a human body, in a human vessel, to have an experience of life, to have an experience of evolution, to have many experiences that will help the soul grow and evolve. So life of a human being could be also divided in sections, in quarters, in sections. And it is not all continuous like a filament. These stories have divisions. They have a beginning and an end most of the time. Even when things get really hard in life, there is a beginning and an end. The problems seem to evolve and release themselves for a new problem to merge, to birth, have its process, and then release itself again. So life is not continuous like a filament. Life is made of quarters, of pieces, of moments, of years. And so if you look back into the past of your life, you will have a feeling, most of you will find this, that who you are today is different than who you were when you were 20, or who you were when you were 4, or who you were when you were 32. So you acknowledge that there has been an evolution, a change. You acknowledge that who you are today by doing this exercise is very different. Your likes and dislikes, your dreams are different. The wants today are different than when you were 20 years old. And that is normal. You are a different person. Even your cells are new cells every 7 years. So you're constantly changing. So to acknowledge your past from the very beginning, the experiences of childhood sometimes have been very difficult for human beings. And there is reason for that, is because in the childhood, those years are very important. The soul has a contract for those 7, 10 first years that is very important. That part of the contract of the incarnation is very important, has a lot of meaning for what the rest of the life will be like. So the early years sometimes are very challenging for a child. But there is a reason for that. And if the challenges doesn't come in the first 10 years, then they might come in the next 10 years, from 10 to 20, or from 20 to 30, or 30 to 40, or 40 to 50. The challenges are coming at different stages, depending on the contract that that soul made for its own learning in Earth School. Planet Earth is called Earth School for a reason. It is a school of training for the soul. The soul comes to work here, not to have a constant holiday of beauty and luxury. So the soul needs to have these difficulties. It seems to be difficult for human beings to accept pain. Human beings love joy, and that is a good thing. But it contradicts the brain to accept pain. The brain of a human being is very judgmental on what is good and what is bad. The duality of life exists. There's no point in trying to challenge that. It is part of the laws of the universe. So the laws of the universe are set in stone. And duality is part of the living experience of human beings on planet Earth. Even for animals, there is duality. It is not just exclusive for human beings. But for human beings, pain is, for some reason, and we don't want to go on into explaining the laws of the universe to you at this point. We want just to explain you that those are set in stone. Those are not changeable. The pain is part of life. The joy is part of life. The sorrows is part of life. The hunger is part of the life of a human being. Satisfaction will also be part of the life of a human being. All of these components have their own needs for the evolution of the soul. So we try to explain you in many occasions that for you to see how judgmental your brain is immediately when there is a situation. It wants to categorize the situation into either good or bad, positive or negative, painful or joyful. But we want to explain you that things are not set in black or white. There is gray, and there is the non-judgmental middle balanced point that the universe will always stick by. So God, source, energy, angels, powers, anything you want to call that energy of the Creator, is non-judgmental. It doesn't judge good from bad. It offers situations for you to have the challenges of experiencing what would be a powerful motivation for accessing creative thoughts, a creative feeling that the human being will have when it's challenged with the problem, on how to transmute that problem. So there is a lot of pain on human beings right now on planet Earth. And we do acknowledge that. And we always will offer comfort for those who ask for help. Because that is the kindness of the universe. That is the compassionate universe. That is the nature of the universe, of source energy, God. It is compassion. So in order to receive it, you need to ask for help when you are challenged with the situation. And the other thing we want to talk about is the feeling of victim that human beings are quite addicted to. They will hold on to their victimization about something with dear strength. If you challenge a person who's feeling like a victim about something, if you challenge them at that point to see themselves as gifted, not as a victim, you will notice how much that human being is not willing to let go of their feeling of being a victim. They will manipulate it. They will challenge it in any way possible that their intellect is capable of accessing at that moment. But we would like to offer you this perspective that when you do feel like a victim about something difficult that happened in your life or that is happening in your life, you are only creating more sorrow for yourself, and you're giving that negative situation more power. You're not going to get help that way, either from the universe or from the person that you are demanding to be listened to about your own victimization. So you're not going to go anywhere but just round and round, and it's going to become painful. So what we would like to advise all of you is, when you feel that life has been hard, when you feel that life has been tough with you, and that other people have it easier than you, try to see the other side of that situation. And the empowering side of that situation starts with the question, what good is in this situation that I have not yet realized or acknowledged or learned? So when you challenge yourself and change the side and ask the positive question about it, you will receive a message from the universe of why you were challenged with that situation. It could be something like this, that you as a soul needed to be acknowledged by others for your kindness, so that in that respect the universe offers you the situations where you have to care for someone so that you get acknowledged for the loving care that you gave. So realize that your soul needed that to compensate some story. It creates a balance that your soul needed. So anything that your soul will need, the universe is your servant. It will provide always for you the opportunity to realize that accomplishment, because you are in Earth School. You're getting to be graded if you wish to think about. You're taking courses. You need to get a good grade. So in order to get a good grade and to move on to a new story and to close that chapter, the universe will provide for you everything that the soul needs in order to achieve, to accomplish that part of your journey. So we could give you a million examples why you have been placed in difficult situations. It could be health situations of your own or health situations of your loved ones that you're caring for. It could be financial problems, difficulties that will challenge you in a very painful way, where you will need to be creative to get out of that situation. So the universe will always provide what the soul needed to learn. It assists you. The universe is your servant. So let's say that your soul needed to stand on your own 2 feet as a human being, the soul being inside a vessel, a body, and that soul needed to find that strength to be whole and to stand on their own 2 feet, because maybe in the past you have been very submissive and ordered around by other people. So your soul decided to have that challenge, that experience of seeing what it is like to stand on your own 2 feet and to solve your own problems of scarcity. So that would be an example as well, that in order for you to access that, the universe will provide lack of abundance for you so that you can be challenged in finding ways that will provide for yourself, so that the soul will feel that it was able to stand on their own 2 feet and to make it happen for themselves. So everything that is happening in your life has a story behind it. So challenge the universe by asking the questions. What story is behind this situation that I still have not understood? So instead of feeling like a victim, that you're no longer able to be abundant, ask the universe, what is happening? What am I learning? Why am I in this situation? What do I not get? What did I ask for that the universe had to put me in this situation? Then you will have to make peace with that, because it's not just about challenging yourself to solve the problems. It is also to find the maturity in yourself and the openness to make peace with the story, to make peace with yourself. That is self-love. When you are able to make peace with the situation and to change that situation, once you have made peace with it, you change that situation into, wow, now I learned something, I am empowered, so how am I going to use that power to help others? So it's like a feeling, think of it, of empowerment. What will it take for me to be empowered in this situation? So I am full enough, I am complete enough that I can now become a servant and be of help to another human being in need. So that is when the story is complete and it empowers you. So life is challenging. Life can feel difficult. The external challenges in your life can feel very difficult. But when you are in difficulties, through your breath and your focus in your heart chakra, if you don't know what the heart chakra is, it doesn't matter. You do know where your heart is. So focus your breath into your heart, simply as that. And just try to focus all your attention inside into your own breath, into your own heart, and feel everything coming together for you to have this experience of being alive. You might have bombs detonating around you. We know many of you are living in war zones, and we know that you are challenged by these terrible situations outside, things that you cannot solve. And even though there is this external difficulty, maximum difficulty happening, can you be able to breathe your next breath and gather this universal love inside your heart, just with the next breath? Take a deep one and gather the safety and the love inside your heart. You are capable of doing this until your last breath. And when you are in terrible anxiety in terrible fear, you still can challenge yourself to take a breath into your heart and put maybe your hands in your chest and your heart and receive the love. Receive that second of compassion that the universe always has for you. We acknowledge all of you that are suffering. Every instant there will be suffering on planet Earth, and we acknowledge that. And we want you to honor your life the way it is, because this life was your creation for your soul. And the ones who are under terrible, terrible pain are such courageous souls that took on these extreme challenges, these extreme difficulties. That soul asks for the big kahuna difficulty so that their soul will evolve at a higher rate. So to those souls in pain, we want you to acknowledge yourself as a great master at this moment in time. You are mastering for your soul something big, where eventually, at some point soon, you will have relief and you will have the satisfaction of a job well done. So for all of you who are in deep sorrow, in deep anxiety, in deep fear right now, acknowledge yourself as a great warrior that you really are, and pat yourself in the shoulder and say, I can do this. I challenge myself to be in this position. I am not a victim of this situation. I challenged myself to be in this situation long before incarnated into this body. And it means that I wanted to study the most difficult courses. So I am courageous and I honor my life. I honor my journey with love. And this will create relief for you, because by honoring your life as it is, you will have gathered the frequency of love, because honoring your life brings a lot of frequency of love into your heart. It is a beautiful thing to do, to honor your life every single day, to be in gratitude and to honor your life. Those two emotions have great satisfaction for the soul, has great possible advancements for the soul. So we want to inspire you to bring the frequency of honoring your life from the universe, all of it, gather it all for your heart as a self-love for your own heart, no matter what you're going through. And if you're having the most beautiful time in your life, do the same thing. Honor all of your journey. It wasn't always as easy. So honor all of it and be grateful that you are reaping the success of all your wisdom, of all the times that you were challenged before. You're harvesting for yourself your own wisdom, and you are at peace with who you are and the moment you are living in. So we send blessings and love and the frequency, the highest frequency of love to everyone listening to this message. We bless you. Thank you.